Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Inhumans. Freaking Inhumans, man. Episode 5, Season 1. And it's called, what do we got there? Something Inhuman, This Way Comes. Nice little play on the Something Wicked, This Way Comes from Ray Bradbury. Blah. Having a hard time speaking right now. Anyway, what do we got there? Oh, yeah, there was actually, for anybody who's asking, there was actually a Something Wicked, Something Inhuman, This Way Comes title, but it's just a compilation of some of their origin stories from various different, like Marvel Age and all that good stuff. So, there's that. Anyway, saw somebody was already in chat. Sup, Sean? So, this was actually a pretty good episode. It started off as usual, which was blasé, but it seriously picked up a lot afterwards. Karnak actually looks like Karnak from the Warren Ellis run. There was a moment in there where he ninja chopped a bullet, which is pretty cool. The only way, Victor, what's up, brother? The only way that this could have been cooler is if instead of doing a standard, karate chop, if he would have used the two fingers instead. That would have been directly out of Warren Ellis's run, and the exact same movement and everything, just bloop. Now, this can be 100% redeemed if he gets another chance. There's still 3 more episodes in this season. If one more time somebody takes a shot at him, and he could just do the two-finger thing, especially with the wrappings on his hands now that he's got, plus that the already torn up, what do you call that, a hoodie? I think that would be really great. That would be so perfect right there, because he did still screw up. He karate chopped the bullet, and it hit his girlfriend. By the way, his girlfriend here's a little sarcasm coming for you, the most awesome, well-detailed, thought-out, obvious relationship I've ever seen in a TV series. The exact opposite, actually. There is nothing there. No reason for them to have even liked each other a little tiny bit. Yeah. There are a couple different parts where, like Karnak's typical way of talking in here is he's very formal, like, usually when I'm with a woman, I am only with her and then she will leave by dawn's first light. Yeah, you could just say the morning, But I get it. You want to keep to that. The problem is when you don't keep to that. There were 2 times in here where he said like. The second time was okay, but the first time he's like I just did, totally colloquial, where he literally says something to the effect of, oh yeah, well, and then I was like, such, dude, stick to the freaking formal or don't. Okay, maybe this was just an aspect of the script. Maybe this should have been reshot. Maybe he should have, I don't know, looked at the lines better, or maybe the lines really were that bad. And, it's hard to tell because there's just so much messing up with this. Over in the Marvel thing, Twitter minutes, I want to see your live reaction and everything. Over in the Marvel.com, Marvel on YouTube, they have, they actually had that scene at the end where he's got the bow staff and it gets broken. The scene that you see in every single, I don't know if I'm right in this, but I think that, what was it, Out for Justice with Steven Seagal, I think may have been the first time, it was the first time I've ever seen it, where you got he actually had the cue stick, the pool stick, and somebody broke the pool stick. The guy with the Eskrima shows up, and then he used the 2 pool sticks, the broken part of that pool stick, and used it as a Eskrima, and he's fighting back, and it's like actually kind of cool. So what do we got here? Oh my, Luke Cage getting beaten up. Silver Shawn returns. I don't know what that means, but Swan in the background. Okay. What's this? Look who's back. I can't see that well. Oh, looks like no, that can't be Captain Atom, because that's Spider-Man. Is that Daredevil? I can't actually even see who that is there. I don't see that well. Was that Big Hero? Oh no, that's actually the Progenitors. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's just disgusting. Hail Hydra, you jerk. Okay, so anyway, what do we got here? The scenes with Karnak, however, Karnak and Gorgon together were actually really cool. I actually really dug them. Yes, I'm going to be in Mississauga tomorrow. I was actually just telling my wife when we were watching this thing. I will be in Mississauga tomorrow at the Fan Expo. What is that? Birmingham Thorpe Road, whatever it is. Guys, if anybody's watching this before tomorrow, Mississauga Fan Expo, or Comics Expo. This is going to be the 3rd annual. This will be the first time I'm actually attending. Chip Zdarsky will be there, the writer for the Peter Parker, The Amazing Spider-Man comic book. Issue 5 just dropped this week. I did the review, I just didn't put it up yet. Sorry, not a whole lot of really good comics out this week. But whatever. Anyways, yeah, he's going to be there, and that should actually be pretty cool. He's only got like a half-hour panel, and it's right in the middle of a freaking game of Dungeons and Dragons, Adventurers League, which kind of ticks me off a little bit because I kind of want to do both. Anyway, just really bad scheduling there, guys. But yeah, I will be there. It goes on until only about 4:30, so whatevs. So anyway, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, the scene where they're on the moon, and Karnak is sitting down playing some chess by himself. Okay, that makes sense. And that, or something to the effect of chess. Gorgon comes walking in. He's so happy. He's so happy. He's like, and he's now in this, he's playing Gorgon better than I've seen him play Gorgon in the entire series. This was actually really good. He comes in, he's like, hey, Karnak, check it out. Look what I found. He's like, oh my God. And it's the American flag that was put down in the original Apollo program. What was that, Apollo 12? Apollo 8? Oh, God, I'm forgetting my freaking space history right now. I know this. I know which Apollo program it was. I think it was Apollo 8. But what the hell do I know? Anyway, the one where Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin came down and, yeah. And so what happened? He's like, I'm keeping it. It's like, you can't keep it. Why can't I? First off, in 22 minutes, a satellite's going to go over top, and they're going to look for it. Something that's been there for years, and they're going to see your hoof prints there instead. So he's like, oh, so what does that mean? They'll probably figure us out. That's Karnak. That's Karnak, and that's awesome. I love that they're doing that. I did cringe just a little bit when when Medusa found Gorgon, and she comes up like, "Oh, hey!" I was like, "No, don't do that, because then it's going to happen in the comic books too. Don't do that." But if you guys aren't following along in my reviews for the Inhumans, it's called Royals. I do a review for the comic book called The Royals, and that's actually most of the Inhumans, sans Karnak and Black Bolt, going off into Kree space to try and find out the origin of Terrigenesis, of Terrigen period, called Primogen. And yeah, for some reason, Gorgon and Medusa are together, and it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So moving on from that. We got to see Karnak this was a huge Karnak issue. We got to see Karnak without his shirt on. Yeah. Sorry. Again, I'm hopefully this is the last time I'm going to have to mention it. I hate his body. Okay? I hate his body. Really, realistically right now, watching him on there, it would be almost like watching me get on there. First of all, I'm a whole lot whiter than him. So if I took my shirt off in the daylight, cameras, you'd have to put a serious dimmer on there. But that aside, self-deprecation, one of my favorite jokes. But that aside, yeah, he's got no body. He's just flabby and normal. And now actually taking off a shirt, not just working out some dumbbells. Now you got to actually do some push-ups, dude. You got to do some push-ups because you don't look like Karnak. Sorry, you got the face paint. Pretty cool. It's good enough. It's a good enough facsimile of the actual face paint. I'm actually okay with it. You kind of look like him, the head and all that stuff. The head does look oversized with, the rest of his body. He's actually got a more oval head. His head is more ovaloid, rounded than a normal human being's. But yeah, he just doesn't, sorry. Bodily, you don't look like Karnak. Sorry. So, Karnak aside now, we get a very little bit of the best part of the show, which is Surrender Swan and Anston Mount. These two are the absolute hands-down best in here. We do get a little bit of them at the end especially, and we get to see both of them reacting to the way that, what is that girl who has the Sonic Pathfinder thing? Maybe somebody in there, oh, geez, so many people. I'm going to get to the comments when I'm finished with this particular part, guys, sorry. But I will absolutely get to the comments. So anyway, they have, the girl is saying, and she actually winds up dying. She gets shot. I don't know how exactly she got, I guess because there was some firefight beforehand, and that's when they suddenly came up. It's like, oh my God, she got shot. And Karnak's like, oh, this is fatal. Well, that's convenient. But she's, the whole time she's sitting there saying, while she's driving in the trunk, she's stuck in the trunk while they're driving, Like, well, this is the typical way that the royal family treats us. I mean, let's be realistic. I wanted to be a healer, and they made me the finder of lost things because of my Terrigenesis power. And the one girl, the Felicity Smoke imitation girl, not Felicity, she's like, why can't she be both? It's like, well, the way, and it's a baloney, it's a baloney statement. This is good. This is good. It reminds me of the first issue of Inhumans, Once and Future Kings. That was the best issue of this 5-issue miniseries where we've only got the first 3 issues out so far. I really like the idea that that Black Agar Boltigan, is actually questioning the way that his father, King Aegon, and all of those before him had actually run the royal family, that everything has to be so jilted. But it was Medusa who finally allowed it to, very recently, allowed it to just, that's it, we're not doing a monarchy anymore. We're now going to be doing an electoral. And she gave it to ISO, and then she said, from that point on, you start deciding how it's going to work, so it'll be done through vote and whatnot. But, which is a good thing. I like the idea of the Inhuman royal family, but yeah, they have addressed that many times before. Well, not many times, but several times before, that they are a monarchy, clearly, and they are not very fair with a lot of things. And in here in this caste system, that's probably the one good change that I like about the TV show. Here's the thing. I've always said that the main reason why Marvel does so well is because they stick to continuity so fluidly. It flows perfectly. You've got the absolute perfect script in front of you. Years and years of canonical knowledge. These comic books, they're already in storyboard format. Why would you not simply transfer them from here to there? Here's the thing. You don't have to worry about offending the fans or making the fans bored, because why would you? Why would you feel embarrassed? Or why would you feel like the fans would be upset with that? The fans, for the most part, don't want to see any changes. They want to look and say, yes, this is the perfect, let's say, Inhumans storyline. I'm not going to be upset to see Spider-Man do something exactly out of the first 6 issues of his comic book, including Amazing Fantasy issue number 15. There was no issue 19. It was Amazing Adult Fantasy, 1 through 14, and then 15 was Amazing Fantasy. Then it went on to his first issue, Amazing Spider-Man issue number 1. But the idea is, I would not be upset to see those first issues perfectly laid out in the next movie. I wouldn't be insulted at all. I'd be like, wow, cool. That's perfect. That's actual Spider-Man. Spider-Man actual right there. And as far as the people who haven't read Spider-Man, God rest their souls, I feel like they're going to look at it and say, this was really well done. This is really well done. It's almost like the director is like, no, I can't just credit Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. No, I got to actually put my own name on the credit. You will. You absolutely will. Who cares? Just do a perfect adaptation. We're not going to be upset by that. And the people who haven't read it aren't going to know. They're not going to know until they meet some dunderbuss like myself who's like, no, they were actually right in the cover. It was really good. Nobody's going to be upset. Nobody. And then after that, then you can expand. This is the furthest, the absolute furthest that I've seen any Marvel show, like actual Marvel property show going. I'm not talking about the things that Sony did with Spider-Man or the things that Fox has done with all the characters they've had. Right now they've only got Fantastic Four and the X-Men. But before that they had Daredevil, the Punisher, all these crazy things like that. So no, I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the properties that the Marvel Cinematic Universe owns right now. This is the farthest reach that I've seen from them, and you'd figure this would be the easiest one to simply say, okay, let's just do this. Now, granted, they can't do everything perfectly because the Fantastic Four isn't there. I get that. But I don't think it would be too hard to simply readapt it just a little bit, but keep it as close as possible. Why does Maximus have no powers? Clearly, by the end of this, episode 8, he's going to have his telepathic powers, right? His mind control powers. I mean, come on. Why wouldn't he? But at the same time, why wouldn't he just have them now? Why can't it be that he's manipulating all these people? Why can't it be that some of them say, yes, we were manipulated, but at the same time, we still feel this caste system is a bit much? I think there's plenty of room for, instead of just giving us little tidbits and saying, this is for the fans, this is for the fans, this is for the fans, why not simply say, here's the Inhumans, it's for the fans, and everybody else will like it too. And the main thing, you really got to throw some money at this. That's what I was actually getting to in the beginning when I was watching when I was watching the little tidbit that they were giving us, the fight between Karnak and all those drug dealers, the weed farmers. I saw that it didn't look so great. I'm like, I'm going to have to actually see this in context before I give a good synopsis. But I read through the other comments on there, and I did see that somebody said at one point they got to throw a lot more money at this. And yeah, you're right. Literally, you got to be like, make it rain on this freaking TV series, because the budget is really killing it. And I know a lot of people are mad at Scott Buck, I think his name is, the guy who directed this. I think there's only but so much you can do. I really think there's only but so much you can do. Plus, from my understanding from what he'd said, the reason why they hired him is because he was just going to get it done fast. They're not looking for quality. They're looking to just push it out, which doesn't make sense to me. That completely belies everything that I know about Marvel. So I don't know what else to really think about this. There were a bunch of really cool parts in here. My wife was only out for the first time to watch this ever today. She never watched any of these other episodes with me, but she did watch some of this, and she left for all the good parts. So she's currently of the belief that this is a 90s TV series. I was like, there's actually, as they're coming out is how I'm watching them weekly. And she's like, nope, sorry, this was done in the 90s. That's the way it looks. I'm like, they were actually done with IMAX cameras. She's like, no, they weren't. And she knows that they were. She's not, disbelieving what I'm saying, but like, that's her opinion on it, that no, this is not done to that degree. It's a shame, but I do like the idea of seeing. It's a weird thing because Crystal in here, and she was my least favorite character. Karnak my second. Now they've just reversed. He's my least favorite. She's my second least favorite. She's slowly working her way up there, but it's weird because as ditzy as she's been this entire time, which is perfectly fine, but the bad acting to go with it. Oh, you think that that little gun is going to be as powerful as my thing? Stop moving your head like this. Stop bouncing your head. Stop bouncing your head. So, once again, do you think that power is going to be as powerful as my power? Because I got to power. Shut up. Don't ever let me see that scene again. It's anathema to me right now. But that aside, it's strange that seeing her hang loose like she did in this episode actually made me feel better about the character, because I guess she was playing her role, her acting role, way too seriously, and that's rough when you've got somebody who's supposed to be playing a loose character. So playing loose in this was actually cool. I believe that she's actually from Australia, this actress. So I guess being on the beaches of Hawaii, she felt home, like actual on the beaches, like in front of the ocean. She probably felt more at home. So go figure. I think our waves are not quite up to par with hers, but that's almost like being on the West Coast and coming over here to the East Coast and saying, there are no waves. People on the East Coast are like, what? There are plenty of waves. What are you talking about? Then they go over to the West Coast like, oh, I get it now. Okay, let's go back and check out these comments. Victor, I'll see you there. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you there, brother. Sean Sidrai, my Eye of Agamotto. That was Zodiac on Spider-Man cover. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay, sick. I think that deserves an Explained in a Minute. By the way, guys, I'm finishing up my Punisher Explained in a Minute right now. Yeah, I know. It's Halloween, but whatever. It's the freaking Punisher. Who's going to really be upset by this? I really just want to put him out there. And I'm going to be doing a spotlight on story for the Punisher. Specifically, I'm not going to tell you which one. I'm not going to tell you which story I'm going to be doing. Anyways, Timmy C, what's up, brother? My thing just jumped in place. I like how everyone is so relaxed being around Black Bolt, because if I was there, I'd be way nervous. Like, just bounced. One little out of him, and adios, everyone. He's so controlled, yet not infallible. Exactly. When he's got that police brutality on him, stop resisting. He's like, oh. And then the car goes flying. I did like the threat. Oh, I did really like the threat that Medusa gave. When your brother gets up there, he'd like to have some words with you. And just that little tiny bit of emphasis. And Maximus, like the look that Iwan Rheon gave, it was really cool. He's just like, okay, hold your crap together. Hold your crap together. I tell my brother that I look forward to our conversation. Oh man, I like that. I like that. That was good Iwan Rheon acting. That's what I expected to see in this TV series. This was literally that scene to me, best scene that he's had so far. And it's a low bar, but it was really good. It showed that fear and the immediate, hold your stuff together thing that he had done in Game of Thrones. He just had more time to, for someone to say, okay, cut. Now, I want you to go back and do the scene again. Just same one, this time with feeling. That old thing. That old adage. Timmy C, especially never stand in front of him, and now that I think about it, I wouldn't want to stand in back of him in case he farts. No, that's not the same. Hey, I don't know. Not going to risk it. No, it's only in his vocal... It's not in his vocal cords, actually. It's in the vocal center of his brain, not in the flatulation center of his brain. Nice try, though. That reminds me of when I lived in Ohio for a short time. I was 11 years old, and I went to Camp Perry, it was called. And, yeah, we got to do all sorts of really cool things. That was before I was ever in Boy Scouts, clearly, long before I was in the military. And we got to go out and do a lot of cool things. That was the first time I ever got my hands on a bow and arrow. And, oh, man, every time I get a chance, I'm picking up the archery again. I love archery. And I remember the one time how stupid we were as kids. It just reminds me of this. I remember this one kid was so bad with the bow and arrow that we used to say, the safest place to stand when he's firing is in front of him, because he'd literally be firing all over the place. And me and a couple other kids were so stupid. We stood right in front of him, in between him and the target when he was about to fire. This is clearly the safest place to be, because we don't know what death is. It's on TV, and there's music when someone dies, and it's we see them in another role in some other movie someplace. I could have freaking died there or lost an eye. It's all fun and games, so someone loses an eye. I can't wait to see that again this Christmas. Sean said, stop body shaming. I hear you, and I know you're joking, but you are right. You are right. Still, just in case someone is, bothered that I say that, it's a role, man. It's a role. You know what I'm saying? Look, the Faith comics, all right? She's an overweight woman. What if you were to get a blonde woman, but she's a supermodel to play that role? And I mean one of those swimsuit edition supermodels. You know what I'm saying? That would not be cool, and that would be exceedingly insulting to anyone who knows the nature of the character. So it's what do you call it? This guy, freaking Karnak, is supposed to be really fit, and this is just one of those things where it's dude, I think that if you could have just done a few more push-ups, I don't know, maybe he just didn't have the time. Maybe, and I don't mean he had a busy schedule. Screw that. You freaking make time. You're a damn actor. My thing is, maybe because they did rush everything in here, maybe they're just okay, yeah, we're going to, you're hired. Okay, we start shooting tomorrow. Wait, what? Maybe that was the case. I don't know. If that is the case, I don't know. Instant Mount. Here's the thing about body. You know what I'm saying? I know that even though I'm older and I'm 42, if I were to go back to the gym again, I could get my old look again. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do bodybuilding, but I did do powerlifting. You know what I'm saying? I'm not some 700-pound, lifting guy, but I've done squats. You know what I'm saying? I've done curls. You know what I'm saying? I've still got the chest of a guy who's clearly not in shape anymore, but who used to do all this stuff. I know that I can get back into the shape again. Give me 2 months, and I'll be, boom! You know what I'm saying? I'll be back, because muscles have a great memory. I know that's not exactly how it works, but I think you get what I'm saying. That muscle memory, it works. You know what I'm saying? So I think that he should have stayed in shape or gotten in shape in the first place. You're an actor. Does anybody ever call for, a guy who's not very in shape? Instead of doing one of those really unhealthy workout diets like Hugh Jackman would do. You know what I'm saying? Where it's or even worse, for crying out loud, what the heck is his name? The guy who played Maximus in Gladiator. I know his name. Russell. That guy, anyway. The Spaniard. That dude. He's actually got... Ooh! And Gerard Butler is probably even worse than him. When he did... Literally, probably the worst one. Very specifically, when... not Gladiator, 300. When 300 was coming out. They were like, oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we're going to do all this stuff. We're going to get into shape and all that. And Gerard Butler's like, oh, yeah, guys, go ahead. Do all that good stuff. And they're like, dude, aren't you going to come in? It's like, no, I'm good. And then towards the last, 2 weeks, he came in and he just went crazy. Lifting, all day. Actually hurt my throat. You know what I'm saying? He actually, killing his body to get himself in good shape. And who cares? Because he knew they were just going to do airbrush and CGI to make those guts look good. I remember I had a buddy named Pat a long time ago. And when I told him that was all airbrush and CGI, he's like, no, don't say that because they look so good. Okay, Pat, sorry, bud. Human beings don't really look like that. Anyway. Okay, so Sean, stop. Oh, yeah. Timmy C. Hey, the guy said in this episode, in Hawaii, hang loose. Yeah, I was cool with that. Oh, wow, there's actually a hang 10 symbol there. Nice. Yeah, I used to do that with my buddy Dennis in the Army all the time, back when we were in basic and AIT together. Truck driving school. Yeah, my eyesight wasn't good enough to do the infantry that I originally wanted to do, so I had to do my infantry. I think it was actually 2 years later, I had to do my infantry MOS. So instead of going out for infantry, they gave me a list of things to do. And yes, typical military intelligence. You can't see to shoot. I still scored expert every single time. I would never shoot less than 38 out of 40. What do you call it? But nonetheless, because I could see them moving. They were actually moving targets. I could see them moving. I could hit it. If it's just sitting there, what's there? Anyway, so instead, I went for truck driving. So... Hate to get political, but yes, Donald Trump, in the Army, we do know how to drive trucks. Moving on. Sorry, sometimes you got to get political when something really stupid is said. Don't talk about it if you don't know about it. I don't talk about interior decorating. Moving on. Look at your messages one more time. I want to see your reaction to the new stuff I sent you. Jeez. Okay, so, I don't do reaction videos, man, but okay. Victor, just look for my Juggernaut hoodie. I can't wait to hang out. Oh, okay, cool. Juggernaut hoodie? That actually sounds really freaking cool. I will be trying to wear my my hoodie. Which one is it? Deathstroke the Terminator. I've got my Venom, but I'm thinking to do Deathstroke the Terminator. Look for either one, because if I can't find my Terminator, my Deathstroke one, psh. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. You know what? I remember when Juggernaut and Venom fought. And it was actually a pretty cool fight. Maybe I should come as Venom anyways. We just get into it and see if anybody gets what we're doing. Nah. So, Timmy C. Okay, I understand now. Wait. Oh, okay, because I explained this. Okay. Then go to the gym. Yes, Sean. Timmy C. No thanks on the Faith comic book. It's like watching a permanently pregnant superhero in tights and a cape. Didn't read those Spider-Woman pregnant comics either. Sorry, not for me. You know, here's the thing. I didn't read the Spider-Woman pregnant issues either, but I've heard really good things about them. So I do plan on actually going back and looking at them when they're all available in the Marvel app. Actually, I'm wondering if they're all available now. I got other things to do. But yeah, I actually heard really good things about that. So I am interested in going and checking it out. And while I don't read Faith currently, I did read that 4-issue miniseries. It was actually pretty good. Anybody could be a freaking superhero. Okay, so what did Sean send me? I don't actually see... What is that? It keeps on, freaking fading out on me, dude. Oh, for crying out loud, come on. Oh, people are talking to me on Twitter. Okay, the Iron Man coming at you. Hulk. Oh! Ghost Rider and Thanos Hulk-looking thing with a Hulk. Dude. Okay, that's actually a wicked... Thanos Green Dog. Thanos' Green Dog. Who's that fighting Hal Jordan? Who is that fighting Hal Jordan, dude? Oh, Zod! Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Detective Comics Annual, the picture just faded on me. I think because I got this thing on. Yeah, although I can never tell if Venom was just much stronger or Kane was toned down in that fight. Victor, what that was... Clayface is going to lose it, huh? That sucks. What it is, it's hard to tell Venom's strength level. He originally was, Timmy throws in Venom the Madness, 93, issue number 2 and 3, Venom vs. Juggernaut. Yes, very good. There was also a crossover with Superman. They actually did a DC Marvel crossover, and Venom actually knocked out Superman with a punch. Yeah, I know, weird, right? No magic or anything. But, so you never know what they're going to do, what writer's going to do what. But originally, while Peter Parker at the time, nowadays he can lift approximately 20 tons. At the time, when Venom first came out, he was able to lift about 10 tons. So Venom, Eddie Brock could lift 700 pounds. So funny, I just said that earlier on. So Venom was able to lift 10 tons and 700 pounds. Yeah, so that's why he was just that much stronger than him. But they have shown other things also. Okay, Moonlight. That's a pretty cool Moon Knight pick. Who's that girl who he's with? Looks like Mary Jane. And here's the last one, War, some kind of war. Oh, yeah, looking forward to this. This is from the, what the hell is the name of that comic book that's out right now? Spirits of Vengeance. Yeah, it's actually looking really good. Okay, this has actually gone on really long for review, and there are a bunch of people who are like, okay, we're not even talking about Inhumans anymore, and you're right, sorry. But anyway, yeah, Something Inhuman This Way Comes. I just love the title. I absolutely love the title. Something Wicked This Way Comes, Ray Bradbury. That was just freaking awesome. Sean's like, good night already. Superman knocked out Juggernaut in one punch in the crossover too. Yeah, exactly. Not the best things. Juggernaut shouldn't be able to be knocked out like that. When Nimrod did it, it was actually really cool because you're wondering, whoa, he's got a disintegrator ray. What's all this other stuff? And Nimrod didn't last long enough, in my opinion. He merged with Master Mold, and they became Bastion, which Bastion is cool. Bastion is cool as hell. But I loved the way that Nimrod looked. Like, Nimrod was just, oh my God, that was when Nimrod first came out in the comics. I'm telling you right now, I nerdgasmed. Like, as a kid, I'm just looking, I was like, this is like, how are the X-Men ever going to beat this guy? He just one-shot the Juggernaut. That's crazy. It was amazing. And then everybody was just like, oh, hey, this guy one-shot the Juggernaut. We're going to have somebody one-shot the Juggernaut too and give him some street cred. Nowadays, anybody can one-shot the Juggernaut. And now he's appeared in issue number 28, I think it is, of Uncanny Inhumans at the very end. And next issue, we're going to see them fight the Uncanny Avengers. Excuse me, the Uncanny Avengers. I don't even care. Honestly, like, I don't have any hopes for this to be interesting. I mean, who cares? He's just going to get punked out like he's been through all the comics so far. And he's stronger now than he's ever been. Just whatever, man. And then at one point he's going to have to get into a fist fight with the Incredible Hulk. And it'll be like, you know, oh, wow, he's doing a good job. It's like with Sabretooth. You know what I'm saying? Sabretooth is the greatest enemy the Wolverine has ever had. I'm talking James Howlett, Wolverine, Logan. But when he fights anybody else, he gets punked out. So, yeah, no, not interested. Not even interested. So, whatever. They got to do a lot better with their bad guys. Seriously, bad guys need to start being protected. All right? In the Marvel Comics. And he's kind of chumped like... he just said chumped. Victor just said chumped. Yeah, he'll just get chumped. Like the way that Doomsday has been treated ever since Hunter Prey. You know, like there was the death of Superman and Hunter Prey. There was no other comic book that Doomsday was in that he was actually effective and awesome and made us go, oh my God. You know, like just no. Nope, sorry. Including the Detective Comics that just came out recently. That was just embarrassing. Go back and check out my review for that. All right, guys, I am going to bounce. It is bounce time. I need to get some work done because tomorrow I just want to put out those 2 videos, my Spotlight on Storyline, which will involve the Punisher, and then I want to put out the Punisher Explained in a Minute. And once I do those, that's all I'm going to put out tomorrow until it's time for the the podcast. Victor, if you can think of anything you want to talk about, we may just do the podcast early. I don't mind shooting it live. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Victor, yes, I plan on seeing you tomorrow, brother. And love, peace, and hair grease, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.